Okay, then put your phone away. Because now you're bucking the system by having a phone out during school.
Who wants to bring us in?
Right? Wait, oh, what? You gotta be consistent. That's all I'm asking, John. Be consistent.
Who wants to bring us in?
This?
I think Riley does. Where's Brock?
Yeah, I guess.
Brock's out sick, strep throat. We're live.
Oh, are we?
All right,
Excellent.
welcome back to GV Sports Talk. Hey.
Kind of like a big guy joke.
Yeah, I get it.
GV.
All right, we're live. Who wants to bring us in?
Yeah, all right. Welcome back to GV Sports Talk, and I'm Riley.
Chelsea George.
Jonathan.
Mr. Dutt.
And Mr. Horton. Where are we going today? Really?
Winter sports begin on Monday.
Yep.
I'm sporting the.
I see that. The GV basketball.
Yeah.
I wore the same shirt I wore last week, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't think about it until just now as I was sitting down. I was remembering Chelsea wearing this last week. That's all right. Sporting the GV stuff. We got any GV stuff over there? Yeah, we do. All right. All right. And LSU. Well, let's go with LSU. LSU big game against Alabama coming this week. What do you think, John?
Well, I think they have a chance.
An L? Is that what you said? L?
Sorry.
That's not what I said at
Oh,
all,
okay.
but I said I think they have a chance.
They have a chance
I think-
against Alabama.
I think Alabama's slightly overrated this year. I don't think they're. I think they're definitely the number one team in the country, but
But you're saying they're overrated?
I think they're slightly overrated.
Like they're the best, but not as
Not
good
as good as
yeah,
they make them out. I mean, I don't know. I think. Is Tagovailoa still hurt?
I don't know.
I think Tagovailoa might still be hurt.
God
And
bless you.
Jalen Hurts.
Oh, no,
is-
you're talking about the quarterback. Sorry.
And
Well, I would go with you, John.
Actually, yes,
the-
I think he is.
I think the entire SEC is overrated. I think we have in
Whoa,
college
there you
football
go, an
an
SEC.
SEC bias. I think that if the SEC, if somebody says, "Oh, well, they play in the SEC," well, then they obviously are automatically better than every other team.
Yeah, I kind of see that.
I see it, but I think that's there for a reason. I think the SEC teams are historically better than the other teams.
Okay,
Like the top teams are better than the top teams in the other ones. The bottom teams definitely are not, but
it would be really interesting to look, and that might be some research I need to do at bowl games from last year when we thought the SEC was the best conference in the world, but they didn't win all their bowl games last
no.
year.
Auburn lost.
Auburn lost to who?
UCF.
Okay, Auburn lost to UCF, and we were touting Auburn as one of the better teams in the SEC. So, I mean, I understand that's a standalone argument, right? But do SEC teams get more credit for beating SEC teams than a Big Ten team gets for beating a Big Ten team?
It depends.
Just
what,
automatically. I mean, I get it. Alabama's great. No
depends
doubt.
what team. If LSU beats Auburn, I think they get more credit than Ohio State gets for beating Penn State. But if Ohio State beats like Wisconsin, I think they get the same amount of credit.
Okay.
I think it's just the rivalries are less important in the Big Ten.
Right. Just an interesting thought. I mean, I looked at it's just stacked with SEC teams, and I'm not sure that's merited all the time. I think the history plays into that way too much. That's just me.
I'm with you. Used to be Ohio State, Michigan. Was the game everybody was looking forward to, right?
Right at the big house.
Yeah.
Right, or the
Used to
horseshoe,
be it.
depending on when
And I
they
think
play.
you have seen a switch to the SEC.
Right. Well, and you look at, you got the Final Four that people are talking about. It was really interesting to hear somebody say, with the one-loss teams, and I don't have the rankings in front of me. I probably should get them there so that I can look at them. But it's so funny that they actually really believe that these rankings are based, or the Final Four, when they finally make that Final Four spot, that it's based entirely on the four best teams, when really it's not.
No, it isn't.
It's based on, okay, well, we need to have a Big Ten team in there. And we really don't care about the Big 12 because that's just the Southwest and not as many people live there.
Yeah.
And, that I mean,
How good is Florida? They're a two-loss team and they're ranked 11th.
Yeah. So
Right.
why are they ranked 11th? Because they're playing the SEC.
Right.
So,
that just kind of proves your point, right?
yeah, that it's just, I don't know. That's just me. Even UCF, and I think UCF was actually better last year.
Yeah, I do
and
too.
they're ranked there because of what they did last year and all the grief they got. But West Virginia, is West Virginia worse than Florida? I mean, I don't know. West Virginia plays in a pretty tough conference, but they have one loss.
Yeah.
Kentucky hasn't won a game by more than 2 points, I think,
Yeah, I don't know why they're ranked so high.
because they're in the SEC. You know what I'm saying? So, and I could be wrong. I'm just throwing that out there as a thought.
Well, I found the bowl games last year from
Oh, did
the
you?
SEC. Yeah, 4 and 5.
Okay.
Which,
For the number one conference in the country,
yeah.
4 and 5 is a failure.
Missouri lost to Texas.
Okay.
Texas A&M lost to Wake Forest. Kentucky lost to Northwestern. Mississippi State beat Louisville. South Carolina beat Michigan. LSU lost to Notre Dame.
That hurt you, didn't it? Deep
Yeah,
down
I
to say,
cringed
to
at
even
that.
say that hurt. Okay.
Yeah. Auburn lost to UCF. Georgia beat Oklahoma in the semifinal. Alabama beat Clemson in the semifinal, and then obviously Alabama won the national championship.
Right. And there's no doubt. I'm with you. There's no doubt that Alabama's probably the best team in the country. But it's just an interesting conversation.
Did we talk high school basketball at all? Did we preview
Not yet.
anything?
Not yet.
Next week?
Well,
Next week we'll
it's
talk?
tough.
I looked
because-
at the girls' schedule. It's tough.
Yeah. We have a tough schedule.
We don't play. We play tough. We don't play a lot of local teams.
No, we do have one trip to Rochester, right?
Yeah, we do. One trip.
He's
to
pretty
Raleigh.
happy about that.
Where do you have to go?
We're gonna go to Finney to play Rochester Academy. And what's the team that you play?
Maria Ostable something.
I
It
saw
really
that.
is. It's like four.
Yeah, I
four
saw that
games
on
long.
the.
It's a
'cause the
private
JV the,
prep school.
yeah.
The boys JV plays them
Yeah,
too.
we
Oh,
I
do
saw
they?
that.
We
Yeah, we
play some
play.
weird
We play the
school.
Rochester Academy, and the JV plays that weird school.
Where,
So-
where even is it?
The way it was explained
It's
to
not a
us.
weird school. It has an interesting name that we're not used to. Let's just clarify that.
Yeah.
You folks are not weird because we haven't even met you. So.
Right.
Rochester Academy does not have a JV team, so they use this private. I'm going to say probably it'll probably only goes to like
Ninth or-
ninth or
Yeah.
10th
Ninth grade, yeah.
Prep school is their JV program.
Yeah, it's tough
I'm
to
not
make.
really sure how we find these schools to play. But it's
They're
awesome.
looking for teams.
Well, I hope
they're
it's
looking
a
for teams.
similar showing to our soccer game against Rochester Academy.
Yeah.
I don't think it will be.
I don't think it will be,
doubt
but
it
I
will
hope it is.
Yeah, it's hard to make predictions. I mean, Chelsea played on the team last year. I'm hoping Chelsea will have some things to do. Chelsea and I need to have a conversation. But
Actually, I was thinking about
I mean, Chelsea knows who's coming in for the girls. She knows who's returning. What do you think, Chelsea?
I think they should be pretty good. I mean, they've all been playing for a few years now. They
Right.
should be good. Depends on how hard they work, I guess.
Right. I'm missing a point guard, though.
Sorry.
You are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's a neat problem. But I mean, what are you going to do? I think we have some size
Yeah.
that it'd be tough to match up with us if we went with a big squad.
Yeah.
So, on the boys' side, John, any ideas? I mean, it's tough to tell. I mean,
It's
we
hard
haven't
to
even
tell yet. We
practiced
haven't practiced or played yet, but I don't know. Just on the people that we have signed up, and assuming everybody shows up and nobody gets like majorly hurt anytime
Mm-hmm.
through the season, I think we have a decent chance at maybe making a late run sectionals. I don't want to make any bold predictions yet, but I think we have a decent chance.
You lost.
Didn't
no.
before the show you
Seniors.
make a bold prediction about Syracuse basketball?
He makes
but
bold
you
I
won't
did.
make a bold
Right.
prediction about your own team.
Yeah,
All right, I
that's-
get it. All right, then.
You lost Ronald McDonald, player, no windows, right? Wasn't he?
Ronald.
Yeah.
You lost Ronald. Who the heck? Yeah,
Ronald.
McDonald.
Yeah, Ron
Yeah.
McDonald player, no Windows. That's a tough thing to replace.
Yeah, but I think we could do it. I think there's the talent on the team to replace that. Just maybe share the ball a little more. I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm just
Sure.
saying
Sure.
when you have a player that's that good and that dominant, the ball goes to him more often than anybody
Right.
else. So just
What-
share it. You can spread it between Cody, Evan, Josh. I don't know who's going to start, but like Nick, Ian, anybody really.
I think that might be the key to both teams' success. Is that keyword you just said? Share. Share. Willing to share the ball. Willing to not necessarily make a decision about what's going to happen when you're on your own free throw line.
Yeah. I think if we play
Right
to our,
now, I know I'm going to pass the ball, or I know I'm going to shoot the ball.
I think if we play to our full potential, we definitely have a pretty good chance to win sectionals, but that's if we play to our full potential
Sure.
every game of the year.
Sure. Well, and no one goes into the season saying, we're going to stink this year.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody has high hopes, and that's the cool part about a new season, that you don't have to start from where you left off last year.
Yeah.
I'll say out loud, for those you don't know, I am Mr. Duttweiler's assistant, unworthy assistant.
Oh my goodness, let's not go
In the
there.
JV program, looking at the kids that I got, I'm excited. I think I enjoy working. I'll enjoy working with these guys.
Oh yeah,
I'm excited.
absolutely.
A good bunch of athletes and hard workers. So
Right, and you never want to start your season by saying, well, winning isn't the most important thing, because everybody thinks, oh, that means you're going to be terrible. But
Right.
it really is. There's more to. We had that conversation last week. There's more to playing on a team than always winning a national championship,
National
or even a sectional championship or a
Yeah.
tournament championship. There's more to it. There's friendships that that are created, and lessons learned that can't happen otherwise.
You heard it
And
here
it's a
first.
blast to coach with Mr. Horton. I'll just tell you that.
You
right
heard
now.
it here first. GV to the national championship.
Yep.
Yeah.
Happening.
National Cheerios.
That would be the archery team, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
National
Yeah.
championship.
And which
Which is
probably going to
It's true. They actually do go. We have an archery team that is really good.
Yeah,
We should talk about them more.
we should. We should. They
What's
competed
that?
last
Talk
2
about
years
this
Yeah.
year.
in Louisville in a national
Right.
championship.
Louisville, Kentucky.
We've had 2 New York State champions
Right.
in their age group.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're very good. Coach Brott does a really good job with them.
Not sure how you coach that. I'm just saying. I don't know. I'm not sure how you coach that. Is it technique? You're coaching technique?
Yeah.
Okay, let me. Chelsea, you're a bow hunter.
No.
Oh, okay.
Is it coach or is it
Do I look like one?
supervisor?
You're a bow hunter, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it-
Did you go out
Yeah,
the
you shot
first
a bow.
time and just pick up a bow and say, "I'm good at this"? Whack.
No.
Did anybody have to teach you anything about?
Yeah.
Okay, so you can
I'm
coach
still
it.
not. I'm
Right.
still not great at it. Not by any
Maybe you
stretch.
should talk to Coach Brott and get some coaching.
Coach
Maybe.
Brock taught me everything I know in gym last year about
There you
bows
go.
and
Okay,
shooting.
so-
Safety and
yeah.
aiming.
In fairness to me,
Why would we
I
want to be
just
fair to
said,
you?
well, I just said I'm not sure how you coach it.
Okay.
I'm sure you can.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you coach it either, but
You just
he
teach
clearly
technique
does.
and you make sure the kids don't shoot each other, I guess.
Yeah,
You know,
safety is an issue.
I
right?
will say, in my quest to always be better, I was looking at a lot of videos last night and techniques. I'd like my team to be better shooters. How do you be a better shooter?
Can I be honest with you?
Form.
No. Yes, you can. Of course you can.
Is this the one you told us where
I'd love your team to be better shooters too, because then they'll become my team. No, I think I told you, right? The 7 rules to being a better shooter.
Yes.
You did.
Perfect your own technique. Okay, whatever you're feeling comfortable with, that you can get the shot off, etc., and then shoot more, shoot more, shoot more, shoot more, shoot more, shoot more.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
is. Too many times, and you see, and this is people when they're in the gym and they're shooting, just dribble, 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 shoot. How many times in a game do you ever do that?
Right.
Never.
Never. And people get used to getting the shot off lazy and not as quick. They're not square of the basket. All the shooting techniques. So
Yeah.
I think you're
Well,
right.
and I just had a brief conversation with Reagan Ryan, who's a teacher here that played at the college level and now coaches at the college level in basketball. And when she was in college or before college, when she was trying to play at the next level, she was shooting 300 shots a day. 300 shots a day.
That's funny you say that. All over on YouTube, that seems to be the number. A minimum if you want to be a good
300
shooter.
shots a day.
That seems to be the number.
So you think
How
about
long
that.
does it take to do that?
Depends
Actually,
where you're shooting from, I
Yeah.
guess. If
Well,
you're
and,
shooting-
and also if you have a rebounder, do you have a machine that rebounds for you?
might
You
not
know, that
take
kind of
too
stuff.
long for some people. Actually,
Have you ever heard the story how Larry Bird, when he would go out and warm up, Larry Bird, one of the greatest shooters ever.
Yeah.
When he would warm up, he had a rebounder
yeah.
who stood under the basket because he would shoot for a half an hour without missing. And the ball would just go in the basket. The guy would stand there, catch it, and throw it back to him.
That's pretty
What a
awesome.
job.
I think Larry Bird gets lost in the best NBA player conversation.
He does.
Oh, Rizzo he cringed when I said that. Why did
It's
you do
just
that?
it's not as good as Jordan and LeBron, I don't think.
Oh, I don't know.
Because he's not as athletic.
I think that's probably what it is. He's not as flashy.
True. Sorry about that. Leave it. That's okay. We'll get it later. True. He's not as flashy, but look at the
Well,
results.
He might be better team-wise, like more valuable, I guess you would say.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if he's I don't know. It's hard to say the best ever because when you think of the best ever, people think of the most flashy player because it's just it looks better for the league to have the most flashy player ever to be the best player ever.
Right.
Those Magic Johnson, Larry Bird matchups were awesome.
They're amazing.
They were
Well,
awesome.
and I was a Sixers fan growing up. I loved the photo, Dr. J and Bobby Jones and Maurice Cheeks and those guys. And I think to myself, how unfortunate. It's almost like being a Tampa Bay Rays fan. You know, how unfortunate that you're always having to compete against Boston.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they finally in '83 they beat them, but
Yeah.
you know, it was always the Sixers and the Celtics, Sixers and the Celtics, Sixers, which might return finally
I think
this
it's
year.
definitely starting to come back, but
you know,
the
Gordon
Raptors are
Hayward
going to give
said
them a run for their money
Are
too.
we
Raptors are
allowed,
tough with
to
Kawhi.
talk about the NBA without Brock here?
Yeah.
By the
he's
way,
gonna be
Brock's
sad.
sick, everybody. If you want
Yeah.
to, here's his cell phone number if you want to text him.
Well, we should
Ooh.
talk about Derrick Rose 50-point game.
Yeah, right? Isn't that, I
That
mean, that's
would-
pretty. That's,
No,
I
wait
mean,
a second.
But
Wait a
that's
second. Let me
pretty-
ask the question: is Derrick Rose back?
Not yet.
I said this yet. Is he 42? Is that how old he
He's
is?
30.
He's not old at all.
I don't think we'll see like a full comeback, but I think he can. Like, if you watch the game he played last night, where he scored, or not last night,
The
but
other
the
night,
other night, where he
50.
scored 50, compared to when he played earlier back in the league, it's a completely different game he's playing, which he's adapted to because he knows his boundaries now. Which, if he can play like that and knows his limits, then he can score like that.
Which
It's
might be
just-
why Tim Duncan played forever because he always played like an old man.
Yeah.
Right from his college days, he just always played like that. Interesting. Can I rewind? It would be great to have a video of our conversation just last week when I said Blake Griffin put down 50. Is he back? And immediately everyone said no. But now Derrick Rose scores 50. I don't know. He might be back.
I don't think he's back. It's one game.
All right. So there's the Johnny I was waiting for when I said, "Is Derrick back?" Because you immediately shot down Blake Griffin
Yeah.
and said, "There's no way he's back. He's never going to do that again this year."
I don't think he will. Blake Griffin's
Which
just,
I don't disagree with. I'm just showing a little bit of.
I don't know if Derrick Rose will ever do this again. I think this is his career game. It's the best game he'll ever have, I think. Well, most points.
Wow.
I don't know if it's his career game. I didn't really watch many of his games back
Right.
when he won his first MVP, but
He was the real deal when he was playing with the
Oh,
Bulls.
yeah.
He was the real deal.
Wasn't that Blake Griffin that Kyrie Irving put on the ground with that double move there?
It might have been. I don't
Maybe.
know.
I
Griffin's
wasn't sure
never
if it was
been
Blake Griffin or Luke
touted
Kennard.
as a outstanding defender. So
Kyrie looked pretty tough. I'm not gonna lie.
Kyrie's tough.
He is.
they beat
Yeah.
they beat the undefeated Bucks last night. So
Did they?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and,
they,
and
set
Gordon
a career
Hayward.
high of 24
24
threes.
threes.
Yeah.
A franchise record.
Gordon
They were
Hayward
one
played
off of
well
the league record. Yeah, Gordon Hayward did good.
too. So back to Larry Bird. So who is the greatest ever?
We're gonna have a GOAT conversation.
Yeah, let's have a go conversation about basketball. Can we have it without people yelling?
Chelsea,
Chelsea, what do you
greatest
think?
basketball player of all time.
Pass. I don't know. I have no idea.
Are we talking college or pro?
Let's talk pro.
Both.
Pro,
Like,
okay.
Pro.
And why?
And
No explanation.
for all the highlights and documentaries I see compared to LeBron, I mean, MJ just seems like, I don't know, there was something just in his head that made him want to go after everything. Like, it just seemed more kind of just like how the kids feel today. Like, they just want it more, and that's what gets them to go. But I'm probably going to have to say Michael Jordan.
Michael
It's
Jordan.
hard for me to say that, though, just because, I mean, I've never really seen him
Right.
actually play. I mean, I can
Right.
watch highlights and stuff all I want. It's just, it's not the same as actually being able to watch, like, LeBron in game, which
Yeah.
LeBron is absolutely crazy, too. But, I don't know, it's hard. It's kind of hard for someone who hasn't seen both.
Trust me, it's hard for somebody who has seen both.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick somebody that I've never seen in person. But
Okay.
I think I'm gonna have to go with LeBron, just because the highlights I've seen just seem better. I don't know, they're not a lot better, but it's just they seem in general better. I don't know. I haven't never seen Jordan play live, so it's not the same really. It's hard to really pick. I think that's why the conversation is such a good conversation because the people in my generation, the younger people, are all gonna say LeBron, or
Right.
some of them say Jordan, just because they don't want the older people to get mad at them. So
Wow.
I won't get mad, so say what you want.
We just experienced some ageism there.
Yeah,
that's not ageism, but I don't know. I think it's just depending on who you watched play more is generally who you think's better.
Okay, I can live with that. Now, part of me wants to say Sue Bird or Diana Taurasi as the best pro basketball player ever. But you guys would disagree with that because they don't have the athleticism in dunking. But if you talked in terms of points, assists, rebounds, championships, those two are hard to argue with. Those are two of the greatest basketball players ever. But I assumed in our conversation we were going with the NBA as opposed to. I'm trying to think. I mean, I've always been a Jordan guy just because I felt like he changed the game a little bit when he started playing. He became the person that every kid wanted to be. Not that people didn't want to be Magic, that they didn't want to be Bird, but it was like this super hype machine, and maybe I got caught up in that. Maybe I got caught up in the hype machine because he came out of college in '85, right? I'm your age in '85, and this guy is just taking the world by storm, doing things in the dunk contest that nobody's ever seen before. And so, and it's hard to argue with the 6 championships, but if you go with championships, then Bill Russell is your greatest player ever.
What do you define the greatest
Exactly.
player
And
as?
so there is that definition thing.
Yeah.
And in terms of sheer athleticism, it would be silly for us to argue that any new athlete is not a better athlete than any athlete from the 80s or 70s. Yeah. They're bigger, they're faster, they're stronger. They all are. So I still am a Jordan guy, but I can't. I mean, I think I've even gone on record here to say that if LeBron gets the Lakers to the playoffs, he might be the greatest player ever. He might get my vote for that. 8 finals in a row.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just silly. 8 finals in a row with 2 different teams. So, all right, go ahead.
You know where I'm going with this?
I know exactly where you're going.
Will Chamberlain or Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yeah.
Lou Alcindor.
Yeah, I've got the stats up here to prove it. And the reason I'm basing it on Will Chamberlain of number of rule changes to the game based on that player. Because Will Chamberlain, he was Pennsylvania, right? Isn't he the leading scorer all time in Pennsylvania history?
Maybe, I don't know.
The first rule they changed was the shooter cannot come in until the ball hits the rim on a free throw.
Right.
Because he used to throw the ball off the back, take one step in, grab it, and dunk it. Yeah, that was him. They
First
widened
season.
the lane too because
Right.
of him, and they instituted 3 seconds because of him. Because he used to just stand down in there, and they give him the ball, he turn around, he dunk. He scored 100 points in a game.
Well, he averaged 50 a game.
Yeah. So
Now-
he may be the greatest basketball player of all time.
The counter argument to that is
That's not basketball.
he was just bigger. That's the counter argument to the 3-second rule. I mean, his athleticism was outrageous too as a big guy.
Yeah.
But yeah,
There's
I don't
my
know.
there's my guy. There's my
Yeah.
goat.
And he ran track and field in college.
He was a beast.
Yeah. He ran
That's cool.
track
You
and
know a
field
little
in
bit about Will.
college.
Yeah, he's awesome.
And being like 7 feet tall and running track and field, he ran the 100.
Crazy athletic.
Crazy athletic. Chelsea, got a vote yet?
I thought about it. So I grew up watching old Jordan documentaries and Bird and
Come
Magic.
Fly With
I've
Me
watched,
and-
yeah,
yeah.
I've watched all of those.
Right.
So I feel like
Space Jam.
Space Jam, obviously. I mean, that should be in the conversation for sure. Just saying.
Greatest movie of all
Yes.
time.
Anyway, so when I think about the NBA, I always think about it in that time period, I guess,
Yeah.
rather than now. So I'd have to say back there it's probably Kareem, Jordan, Bird, some of those guys, and also I hate LeBron, so I would never say that.
Oh, there you
Can
go.
I change my statement?
No.
I don't know.
maybe.
Well,
It's
we
not-
have the
I'm
other one
changing-
already recorded, so go ahead.
I'm not changing who I say. I'm changing how I say.
Okay.
LeBron's not retired yet, so you can't say he's the greatest yet. Yeah, I think a player has to be retired for them to be considered the greatest ever.
Okay.
So Tom Brady's not the greatest ever.
I think he.
What about Lionel Messi?
He will be. He will be, but he's not there yet because he's not retired. Once you retire,
I still think Pele's a better.
Pele.
But anyway, that's just me. That's a different
Pele.
conversation.
So what you're
If we
saying
were
is
talking about-
LeBron's career could tank before he retires, and then like he's out of the conversation.
he definitely. It could happen if he,
Well,
if he
and
gets hurt and
what's-
just doesn't come back.
Well, what's interesting is in the conversations, very rarely do we ever talk about Jordan's last 2 years
With the Wizards, yeah.
that were just awful.
Yeah.
They
Because
just-
if that happens to LeBron, people be like, no way, he's not the
Right.
greatest. But
right.
Well,
same thing with Tom
or
Brady. If something like that happens with Tom Brady before he goes out,
Is
he's
that
not
the
the greatest.
same
Aaron Rodgers is.
Leaving basketball to play baseball? We don't like talk about that either. do
We don't care.
We don't care. He's just the best.
Right. Right. It's interesting the aura that is around Jordan. That
I think
is-
leaving to play baseball almost helps it because he was good before he left, and then he came back and he was just as good, if not better.
Yeah.
He was like terribly good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a thought. Johnny had a trivia question for us last time, and we didn't answer
oh,
it.
I know
that's
who
right.
it
What was
is.
the trivia? Oh, yeah.
I know who it is.
The trivia question was the quarterback who has won the third most games
Oh.
at Ralph Wilson New Era Rich Stadium, New Era Field. The quarterback that has won a third. So I can name the first two. Is that okay?
Yep.
Jim Kelly has the most. Joe Ferguson has second.
Yep.
Third is
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady, an
Drew Bledsoe.
opposing quarterback. He's got 15 of them.
Drew Bledsoe also has. I think Drew Bledsoe might have 16 actually.
So there's that statement that is flying around in the Bills that the Pagulas may have bought the Bills, but Tom Brady owns them.
Yes, that is a true statement. That is a true statement.
Oh, man. Do we need to talk about the Bills? How much time we got left, Riley?
Man, there's no point.
Oh, we got 2.5.
There's
so
no point.
we may need to go to final thoughts, but
Well, did we ever answer the trivia question of the Bills' passing statistics?
Yeah.
Did we answer that?
Yes,
It was
was
1941.
40 something. Yeah.
we should probably do some housekeeping. Shout out to WRAQ
Yep.
92.7. We're on Wednesdays and Fridays at 4:30.
Right.
Thanks to Don and Jim for putting us on. You can also catch us on our YouTube channel. Would you want to invite the audience to send us some messages and
Anytime you
be
want.
involved?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we'd like you to be involved in the
subscribe.
conversation. We got quite a loyal
Let
following.
us know
now.
if you disagree with.
We'll put a phone right here, and we'll post a number, and you can call in anytime
There you go.
and argue with John about Messi and soccer.
Oh gosh.
What are we? Final thoughts? Who wants
Final
to start
thoughts.
with final thoughts?
Anything?
I'll go last.
I think Duke wins the whole thing this year.
In college football?
Basketball.
Oh. Well, because we got Duke fans here. I'm a North Carolina fan, so we'll get into that another day.
We definitely will. Yeah.
Me?
Yeah. Go ahead.
If LSU beats Alabama this weekend, they run the tables and win the national championship with ease.
Wow.
Whoever wins this game is the national championship.
Is
The
national champion.
Yeah.
These are the best two teams, regardless of whether Clemson exists or not.
I just don't think Clemson's as good as they make them out. Their quarterback, I don't know.
The quarterback's tough. He's just
They-
not very smart. He doesn't go down.
Yeah.
He runs into people.
Yeah. Clearly, I mean, I don't know if you watched the game in Syracuse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't even know what my thought's going to be. I think Mullins for San Francisco never has another game like he did last night.
I think he's the real deal.
I think that was a flash in the pan, and we're not
Yeah,
going to
me
see him
too.
again.
I think he's
It's
the real
against the
deal.
Raiders. Right?
The Raiders are horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, but everybody's dying to play with him. Just ask John
Two
Gruden.
worst records in a primetime game since, I think the
Ever.
80s. Yeah, maybe ever. Bills beat the Bears this weekend, or at least cover the spread.
Nathan
No.
Peterman
What
has
is-
over 400 yards,
Yeah,
4
Nathan
touchdowns.
Nathan
Yeah,
Peterman
no.
throws 5 interceptions and for 500 yards.
Yeah.
But for the other team.
Both.
Yeah,
Because
I
they're
don't
going to
see-
run back the interceptions. Did they count for him?
I don't see
Those
that.
yards?
Is that yards after catch?
Yeah, yards after catch.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't see them winning.
Negative
Negative
yards after catch. There you go.
Negative yards.
All right, Chelsea, final thought.
Alfred University is going to beat Bonaventure in the exhibition game tonight.
Nice. I like that little local
Wow.
flair. That's awesome.
Wow,
That
Good, I like it.
That
I like it.
humbles
Quite
us
the
that
final
you-
thought.
Going to the game tonight, so.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, you
is
are.
it,
All right, we
is it
gotta-
at AAU or in Bonus?
At Bonaventure.
We got to say goodbye.
All right.
Okay,
Goodbye.
this was GB Talk Sports. Thanks for watching. I'm Riley.
I'm Chelsea.
I'm Jonathan.
Mr. Dutt.
Ms. Jordan, GV Talk Sports. Have a
We're
good
out.
day.